You are listening to the Midnight Movie Snack Podcast with Chris and Garrett. Hello, and welcome to the Midnight Movie Snack Podcast with Chris and Garrett, Episode 9, Going to the Glove Compartment. I'm Chris, and in this episode, Garrett and I revisit one of our favorite comedies from the 90s, the basketball classic, White Men Can't Jump, with Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, Rosie Perez, and Tyra Farrell. Directed by Ron Shelton, Hollywood's go-to director for sports-themed comedies such as Bull Durham, Tin Cup, and Blue Chips, White Men Can't Jump features the second team-up for Snipes and Harrelson, their first being Wildcats from 1986 with Goldie Hawn, a movie Garrett and I watched in our last episode. If you don't own a copy of White Men Can't Jump, you can watch it this month on Starz. Whether you download it, stream it, or pop a disc in your DVD player, we invite you to watch as you listen to our movie commentary for maximum enjoyment. A few items to cover before the movie begins. The Midnight Movie Snack Podcast is now on Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/The Midnight Movie Snack Podcast. Show your support for the show and get access to exclusive goodies. You can also check out our merchandise over at teepublic.com. That's teepublic.com. Links are in the show notes. And now, without further delay, let's take it to the hoop with White Men Can't Jump. So this is not a product placement, but original New York Seltzer Black Cherry Soda.
It's just a blast from the past for sure.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know, late 80s, early 90s. That was definitely, and since this movie is the early 90s, I guess that works perfectly.
Yeah. There was a place over at the strip mall where Willowdale in Durham used to be. Well, I mean, I guess the strip mall's still there. It's been so long since I've been out that way. It was kind of like down from the Harris Teeter. I think it was a Harris Teeter back in the day, like not where the Harris Teeter is now,
right?
But like where it used to be,
where Ollie's is now, I guess.
Yeah.
Ollie.
There was a. I don't know if it was like a ice cream place or a frozen yogurt place, kind of like down.
There was a frozen yogurt place over there.
Yeah. Well, they used to sell those.
Maybe something.
Yeah. They used to sell the New York seltzers, and that's where I first discovered them. Because like my parents, we would always go there after church, like on Wednesday nights for some reason. I don't know why, but I was kind of, being in my late teens, I was like, I don't want frozen yogurt, but I would get like one of these seltzers because the bottles were little, little tiny bottles, and they were good. But yeah, there were all kinds of different flavors. Like this is the only one they had at the store, but I know there was like a gazillion other flavors. Because one of the things that I used to do is that when I'd finish it, you can like peel the label off, which you can still do to this day.
Well, that's just kind of old Cokes and Pepsis used to have that.
Yep.
The styrofoam, whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, and that's the other thing. This is a glass bottle, so it's like, that's, you don't get those. In fact, when I was at the grocery store with my oldest, and when he was like putting stuff in the bag, I was like, careful, that's glass. It's like, just like, this glass, just throw it in there.
Yeah. They have no idea about glass bottles. I mean,
Nope. Yeah. So, that's pretty good. But, I was kind of like had a backup. So if the seltzer didn't work, so they now have A&W Zero, like it's root beer, zero root beer. And I don't know if you like root beer. I kind of go through phases where I like it, and then the phases where I'm like, I don't want it. So I'm got this, tried it. It's really good. So I got that as a backup.
You're in a phase.
That's right. I'm in a root beer phase. And so then I've got more. Because like the last couple of episodes, like I had nothing. Now I'm bringing it up. So there's this thing here called popcorners. So it's basically like these chips, but they're like puffed rice. And when I first saw them, I thought, what is this, like rice cakes? I hate rice. Rice cakes are like styrofoam. This is like what rice cakes wish it could be, because it's like really good. It's like a combination between a chip and like a rice cake, but it has all the good qualities. It like has none of the bad qualities of a rice cake, but
That's good.
it's like a kettle corn flavor. My wife picked them up, and it's pretty good. So they're just kind of light.
You mentioned Willowdale Shopping Center made me think of Burger King, which makes me
Oh yeah,
which
is
is
it
now
still there?
Starbucks there of that corner. It's a Starbucks now.
Oh, it's
But
Starbucks. Yeah,
but I remember seeing, this is talking about early '90s. I remember seeing, we're talking about basketball tonight. I remember seeing Grant Hill in that Burger King right
yeah.
after he had just graduated from Duke, and he just got drafted Detroit. And I remember, and he signed a shoe deal with Fila, and I remember it was in the paper, like the Durham Morning Herald Sun, or the Herald Sun at the time. I guess it's called the Herald Sun,
Yeah,
or the Durham Morning. I don't know. Maybe then it was still the Durham Morning Herald, maybe before it was the Herald Sun. I think it was
yeah.
the Durham Morning Herald still. But I used to read the sports section like religiously, and there was an article about he had just signed, and this was before, like before you had ESPN, and I mean you had ESPN, but you didn't have ESPN apps and all the
Right.
stuff like breaking news and all
Oh
that kind of
yeah,
stuff. So like people still read the newspaper for box scores
yeah. That
and
was the main source.
just it was exactly, it's the main source. And I remember I read in the paper that morning that he had it was like a Friday, and he had signed a Fila contract, like a shoe deal for, I don't know, a couple $1 million at the time, whatever it was. I mean, and I see him that night. It's like a Friday night. We're there like after a movie or something, and he's there with like one of the other guys on the team, and like their girlfriends were with them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I forgot who I was with. It may have been John Hopgood, may have been, I don't know who else was with me, but I remember going, wow, he just signed a couple $1 million, $2 million, whatever it was a multi-million-dollar contract, and he's at Burger King. I said, big spender. I was like, I remember just like making a joke about, but him being there that night, and he had just, I mean, which you got to give him credit for the fact of being, hey, he just signed like a multi-million-dollar shoe deal, and he's still just being an average guy
Oh
going to
yeah.
probably been to the movies, like wants to go to Burger King and get a spooner, and that's what I was really getting to was back. Do you remember the spooners at Burger King?
Vaguely, yeah.
They were like little, little ice cream things,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they had like a cookie and cream one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my
I do
gosh,
remember.
it was delicious. I wish they would bring. I wish they would bring those back. But I remember going into that Burger King probably back in the early 2000s. It was
Yeah.
still there at the time before it became a Starbucks, and they still. I mean, it just showed like they still had like the original Coke and Sprite and Diet Coke, like things on I mean, like very old school, like on the soft drink dispenser. It was still like the old Sprite label, the old Coke, the old Diet Coke. If they had Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb, it was the old whatever look. It was, like they had not upgraded that Burger King, so it's no reason. It's not surprising that it changed over to a Starbucks, and they got rid of that Burger King because they did not put any money back into upgrading Burger King.
But I do have a lot of memories of going into that Burger King. And I do remember spooners. In fact, I just looked it up and I was like, yes, I forgot all about those. Those were so good.
They were good. I'm telling you, that's one thing that you wish they would like bring back. Those are, like if McDonald's can bring back the McRib, they could, Burger King can bring back spooners.
Yeah, they could totally do that with some like nostalgia type campaign.
Exactly.
capture. Well, apparently we're not the only ones who think they should bring them back. I'm looking at apparently there's a lot of people who are bring back spooners. So, and I forgot to mention, I got one more snack. I'm loaded up today. So this is
It's my insulin shot.
It's an Entenmann's. It's a mini cherry pie. It's like this pillow. This looks like a little pillow
like a tiny little sopapilla.
Hey, you know what? I thought about that when I took this out. I was like, man, that looks like a sopapilla, but it's a little hard.
A little harder.
It's like the Hostess pies, talking about stuff from the 80s, like the Hostess Fruit Pies, but it's a smaller version. Now, I tell you what, that was something I loved growing up, was those Hostess Fruit Pies.
I saw something on Instagram the other day with that, like a retro commercial, and it had somebody did the Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. They had Hostess did a tie-in with them, and they had several, like one was vanilla, but they had other flavors like as well, like different stuff.
Yeah,
so I was going, man, that looks really good.
Yeah, they're back in the 70s and 80s. Hostess Fruit Pies had a huge campaign through the comic books. They had like a deal with Marvel. And so I remember they used to have these page-long adverts that looked like they were, comic book page, which made sense because it was in a comic book. But they drew it, and it was like some villain had stolen the fruit pies, and Spider-Man shows up to like save the day. But this was back in the day where they had more flavors than you could throw a rock at, I guess, or a fruit pie at. So I've got the seltzer from the late 80s, early 90s. I've got a snack that's better than the rice cakes that were real popular back in the 80s. And then I got something that resembles a mini Hostess Fruit Pie.
Well, I got a couple of MAMs. That's it for the night.
That's good.
Going, yeah. Well, it's usually Junior Mints or 100-gram bars, but tonight it's M&M's. That's 80s enough.
Yeah, 100 grams are good. I haven't had those in a long time. They're hard to. I feel like I keep my eye out because I do like them, but I haven't seen one in a long time.
You can find them in the dollar store. You can find them in Walmart. Have them in the 10-pack, the small like minis and 10-pack. Yeah. And I saw double. When I went into the Duke store the other day. I don't go into the Duke store very often, but they have a ton of candy in the little like the mini mart thing for the students.
Yeah.
And there was a double, it was like a double thing of 100-gram bars. You can get like two big ones together.
200 grand.
Yeah, 200 grand. Exactly. That's what it would have been.
Were you able to find White Man Can't Jump?
Yeah, I actually got it's on Hulu. I got it through Stars.
Okay, yeah, I've got it through Stars also. I feel like this year, of all the streaming services, Stars is like throwing out these deals. So like when the quarantine first began, I had subscribed to them a long time ago, and they sent an email saying 99 cents a month for 6 months. I thought, okay. And so then the 6 months ended. And I canceled right before they were up, and they were like, wait, stay for 2 more months for 99 cents. I'm like, okay. So then I canceled after that, or right as that last month was coming up. Didn't hear anything from them. I'm like, well, it's okay, because I'd seen pretty much all I wanted to see on there. And so a couple months went by, and they send me another one, like 6 months for 99 cents a month. I'm like, all right. so
I'm back.
Exactly. It's like, we're back in business. But yeah, like they were the ones that were always offering deals and stuff. Like, so yeah, I was happy to see that it's on Stars. So this is a movie that I don't think I've seen since I first saw it in the movie theaters. And I think you and I saw it in the movie theater together with a bunch of our friends from Ridgecrest.
I'm sure we did. It's the right time frame.
Yeah. In fact, I'm almost positive. And I also think we saw it at the Willowdale movie theater.
Ah,
So it's like it all comes full circle. We're sitting here talking
it,
about the seltzer, the frozen yogurt place that had the seltzer, and then the Burger King where you saw Grant Hill and there's
and that's about the same time frame that
yeah.
Grant Hill probably got to sign his deal. It's
Uh-huh.
probably
Who knows? Maybe it
90.
was the night we went to go see it.
It could have. No, man, we'll talk about that would have been something.
But yeah, so I think maybe I've caught a few bits and pieces of it over the years, like if it shows up. But what I found out was interesting is that Ron Shelton, who wrote and directed it, he sued 20th Century Fox over profits because apparently his deal entitled him to a cut of the profits. And this movie was a huge hit for Fox. And Fox was trying, apparently, from what I've read, Fox finagled it where Shelton wasn't getting what he was supposed to be getting. So he took him to court and he was awarded $10 million, but he swore that he would never work with Fox again. And he hasn't.
Wow.
So I'd always, I'd wonder when I read that, I'm like, I wonder if they kind of like pulled it out of rotation, because it had so much legal heat on it or something. Maybe they like, if we allow this to be in syndication or if we allow this to get played on network TV, we got to pay Shelton more money. So they were like, So I don't know if that's the reason. I just feel like I haven't really seen it pop up all that much. So that's why when we talked about doing this, I was like, oh, I'll probably have to rent this or buy it, or something. But I was pleased to see it was on Stars. I did a little research for this one because I think we talked about this last week. I'm trying to provide more like behind the scenes information.
Right. Yeah, that was cool too. I like that.
And so I've been doing research about it, and it's interesting. I mean,
Okay, no, he didn't. Okay, sorry, Grant Hill didn't enter until '94, so it's a couple years early, but still, the same theater and everything. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, so I did some research. All these little weird trivia tidbits came up. So the one that really jumped out at me right off the bat was that apparently this director is a Hollywood director who considered this movie one of his favorites. And I would let you guess, but I don't think you would ever guess this name in a million years. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Let me guess.
Go ahead. I'll give you one. Go ahead.
How many guesses do I get? One or two?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
3?
3 guesses.
Quentin.
Nope. Quentin Tarantino.
What's the guy with Leonardo and Scorsese? Is that his name?
No, Martin Scorsese. Nope.
No, not him either.
But you know what? You're in terms of caliber, like, you're in the right area. It's not a hack director by any chance. This is a very well-known director. He considered this one of his favorite movies.
Is he still alive or is he dead?
He's dead.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Spielberg, but that's how he's still alive. Okay. I don't know. Tell me.
Stanley Kubrick, the director of Eyes Wide Shut, Full Metal Jacket, The Shining, and many
wow.
movies.
Yeah.
This was one of his favorites. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Kubrick, but he was definitely very much against, like I felt like his movies were always, very artistic and very technical, crafted, just like, these very interesting films. So when I read that he considered this one of his favorites, I thought, wow, that's such a crazy choice. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. And I remember really enjoying it. And I remember coming into it thinking, okay, yeah, the guy who wrote and directed Bull Durham is doing this, and the fact that we're from Durham. So there was this kind of like, I want to make sure this is, good, because I liked Bull Durham. I thought it was, I don't know if it was entirely accurate in representing Durham, but, I kind of, that's a whole other discussion. But
that's for another podcast.
Yeah, but I was excited because I liked Ron Shelton. I liked Bull Durham. And, Woody Harrelson had been on Cheers for a number of years before this movie came out. And Wesley Snipes, I didn't know a lot about at the time, but I'd seen a couple of things he had been in, like playing smaller parts. I think this was one of the first big roles for him. And I read that, because we recently watched Wildcats, that they became friends on the set of that. And although this movie wasn't intended as a vehicle for them, it wasn't a project that they were like kind of shepherding through, like, hey, let's do another movie together. Because I found out there were a lot of other actors that were being considered before Shelton was able to get Harrelson and Snipes. In fact, I learned that Ron Shelton wanted Charlie Sheen for Woody's part, Billy, but Sheen wasn't interested in doing a basketball movie, which is interesting because if he had done it, it would have reunited him with Snipes, and they both were in Major League together. But that wasn't going to happen. Keanu Reeves apparently auditioned, but from what I read, he wasn't that good a basketball player.
Well, he's one of his first roles was in Youngblood, which with Rob Lowe, a hockey movie. So
right, that's right. And then the other name that I saw for Billy's role was David Duchovny from the X-Files.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it's a wide spectrum. So I'm so glad they landed on Woody because now that I think about it, it's like I can't imagine that movie with any of those guys. Like Woody, he was the right choice. And then apparently Fox wanted Denzel Washington for the Sydney role, for Wesley Snipes' role, but Shelton, I think once he saw Snipes and Harrelson together, he's like, they got real good chemistry together. I think I want to go with this. And from all of the reports, like Harrelson was actually a really good basketball player. He played basketball in college, and he and Snipes went through some pretty rigorous training for the movie. I think like several months before the filming began, they were like working out and practicing like 6 hours a day. But the coaches that they worked with went on to say that both Harrelson and Snipes had gotten to such a good level, they said that they could be doing NCAA Division III basketball easy. Like they got really, really good. And apparently the filming process, Shelton didn't want the basketball matches to look choreographed. So he allowed them to improvise a lot since they were playing street ball. And so some of the footage in the movie is actually where he just let them go and, just to see where it would take things. And so I think that's part of the reason why I remember enjoying the basketball scenes in the movie. This was the 16th highest grossing film of 1992. 16th. I remember it being a huge hit. Big hit.
Yeah, I thought it'd actually be higher than that.
I did too. I was surprised it was just 16th, but 92 was a big year for movies. Well, let's I'm ready to jump in if you are. All this talking about makes people really sit here and watch it now.
All right. Count us down then.
All right. Okay. So for those listening, get your copy of White Man Can't Jump. We're right at where the 20th Century Fox screen comes up. So I'm going to hit play in 3, 2, 1, play. This music, this hip hop music, was basically the 20th Century Fox theme that they redid.
Oh,
not bad.
Ron Shelton film.
Yep.
White Man Can't Jump. There we go. And I'm sure that's the lifeguard tower that David Hasselhoff was doing Baywatch on.
He said Presbyterian are called God's frozen people.
Yeah.
I remember these guys singing. That dude skating right there, he was in other movies in the 90s.
So this is a religious movie that we're watching, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Rosie Perez.
Oh, I know. When I was looking, I totally forgot she was in this movie, and I was like, oh yes, that's great. She was one of those that was really big in the '90s. That was
Oh, yeah.
her time frame.
Kadeem Hardison. He's from a different world sitcom.
Yep. Now it's wild they filmed this on a day like in California there that it was kind of you don't see a lot of sunshine. It's a
No,
cloudy day.
it's like hazy and smog.
Yeah, there's the Venice Beach Boys. That's what those guys are called.
That guy in the middle, I think, has been in other movies and TV shows.
I said Michelle Rappaport. Is that any relation to that?
Michael Rappaport.
Yeah.
Love the parental advisory explicit lyrics t-shirt he's wearing. It's very 90s. That hat, when I first saw it, it made me think of Marty McFly's hat and Back to the Future 2. Even though that one's a tie-dye, this one is, well, the Back to the Future was like an iridescent one. That's a tie-dye he's wearing. So 90s. The colors and the get up.
Oh yeah. And it's wild how it just it's like a morph. It's like it's a variation off of the late '80s, but the '90s has its own feel to it. It's amazing how it happens. How it could be just a little bit into the new decade, and it's like there's a difference. There's a Jordan jersey. Who's that guy right there on the uni shirt? He's familiar.
He is familiar. I don't recognize who he is. There's Kadeem.
But your mama.
So apparently, your mama jokes were kind of a thing when this movie was being filmed. Shelton had the actors get as many your mama jokes, and he apparently said he couldn't use over half of them because they were so explicit.
Keep my mom out of this, brother. So that guy I was asking you about, his name is John Marshall Jones.
Yeah.
And he has got like 104 acting credits.
I know I've seen him in other stuff.
He's been in so many things, man. It's like that's just kind of one of those him.
Yeah.
He's a character. He's just a great character actor. I mean, really done a ton of stuff. I mean, he's wearing a Punisher t-shirt. Look at that.
Yep.
He's white. Look at him. Oh, Oh, it was a nice pass.
Yep.
That looked like Bank of America.
Sizzler surf and turf.
I want some surf and turf.
I love Sizzler.
All right, if you insist.
Good job.
We're going to Sizzler.
Yeah.
Ooh. So good.
Bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. We're getting ready to see Rosie Perez.
Yes.
Little trivia here. Apparently, Woody Harrelson's dad was a suspect as an accomplice to Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh wow.
Yep.
I did read that he was like a hitman or something.
Yep.
And went to jail for killing a judge. And it was and they're from Texas, so
door.
Who cares? Just open the door. Oh, okay, that's right. There's the sub story that he owes money.
Yeah.
Oh my. The goofy looking guy.
So apparently this is based on a true story. Like something like this happened. Somebody told Shelton about, so he included it in the script.
He sold a gun. Pretty sweet moves, man.
Yep. It is. It's like, I mean, it's fun watching them play.
Yeah, they.
He traveled.
Check this.
Whoa.
Got to get rid of the gun.
Yeah, this is based on something that actually happened when Ron Shelton was doing research for the movie. He was talking to some guys. They told him the story that this happened in real life. So he added it to the script. Guy got mad because he lost. He went and got his gun, and everybody took off.
You cannot hear Jimmy. Trump Towers. It's the Vista view. Hold on, Chris.
They kind of fly.
Look, I came out for the right time. Good gracious. Oh, he sees. That's for sure. kind of like I talked about in Dream a Little Dream about Joel did retakes. If I was Woody, I think I took a couple of retakes.
Yep. Thirsty.
But I forgot that. I mean, this is R, but so is Bull Durham.
Yeah.
It. I'm bringing you a glass of water.
Try not to this.
Uh-oh. Ocean Breeze Motel. I forgot that she was in Birds of Prey. We saw that.
Really?
Yeah. Renee Matoya.
Oh yeah.
And she was in Pitch Perfect 2. She was in Pineapple Express. She's been in a lot of different things. It's just that I'm going back trying to find some things that are like. She's been acting. It's just the fact of, just not as, probably not as big as what the. The bakery ain't open yet.
Wow.
Yep. Now, see, I would give it to the big guy and let him take. There's no way Woody can guard. Ah, it's kind of a play on what's on the Sting, man.
Yeah.
The con, and then there's the other con that's running behind the con. It's like maybe Ocean's 11 or something going on.
Yep.
What's wild is that this is a nice piece of trivia. She's talking about the Old Testament books of the Old Testament for Jeopardy. Is that Woody Harrelson went to a Presbyterian college and was thinking about being a minister.
Really?
Did
I
you know
didn't.
that? He went to school with, this is wild. He went to school with Mike Pence, former vice president.
Really?
Knew him. Said he's a pretty nice guy. He says they were chummy, friends,
Yeah.
And he says that yeah, at one point in time he was thinking about Woody himself, thinking about being a minister. And he says, he went a different path, obviously. And he said he's not sure how they would be today, but he goes, but he says they were good with each other, at the time. Which is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to think about Woody Harrelson being a minister too, but
Yeah.
Crenshaw District, yes sir.
Mm.
He's like, no, I don't want to hear him. Oh man, the Lakers showing the Lakers. That was right at the end of the showtime. I don't hustle people who are dishonest.
Mustard and butter sandwich.
I think he said too easy. The black Zorro. That was dumb. Spill, take all these bricks and build it. That's good. I would just like to been on set to hear them just talk junk like this.
You big corn-fed mule.
I got some bean pie for you. Check it, Casper. Yeah, it's about the brotherhood. Come on, we gotta shake hands.
Stop them before we lose our sponsors.
Why don't you dunk it? Ooh.
Ooh.
And the guy who's going to shoot him is back there going, yeah, yeah. Just forgot how athletic and good it's like. I hope he's pissing on you. But talk about about Wesley Snipes though. And the good thing about Wesley Snipes, I mean, and Woody's that they both are so funny, but they can do but they're such good actors they can do like more serious roles. I think they're just it really shows their how I mean they're naturally funny, but they really are good actors and they can do other things than just being funny. I think that's what makes it because like Wesley Snipes, he really is a personable fella. But like if you watch Blade, he's like that's not at all. This is so anti-Blade characters you can get. Let's pay them. Let's get out of here. Yum yum donuts. I'm going to do a new segment here for this. It's I was going to say at midnight, but it's 12:05, so we're past the midnight movie snack. I think we need to when we hit midnight, we need to make sure since we are the midnight movie snack podcast, we need to. Shut up on the pump you up shoes. Uh, Poor Billy.
Poor nothing. He's an idiot.
Yeah, I know. He makes some bad decisions there.
Made big time bad decisions. I remember when we first saw this, I remember thinking, dude, you just like some people are just they're like a glutton for punishment.
I guess it's supposed to be a little off the Back to the Future. Call me chicken.
Yeah.
You chicken McFly. and I think Wesley Snipes upgraded from Wildcats
Yeah.
on his ladies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I blew the money. All those puffer chips. Good Billy. I remember doing her voice.
Yep.
Now I did read that letters that started with the letter Q later became a topic on Jeopardy. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Come on in here, honey.
Great.
Maravich, my butt. I got your pistol right here. People today wouldn't know who Pistol Pete was, who that was. Everybody's got to cross the bear. I don't care how good you are at basketball. That's a tough shot to try to make.
Did it.
Oh, this is awesome, man.
Yep.
A former disco queen.
There's the man.
There he is. Yes, sir.
Rest in peace.
I know that's wild. That's a recent thing.
Yeah.
Books of the Bible.
What is Mount Vesuvius? It's a whale.
Alex. I like the way she's. Who is it? Who is that? Oh, she's in the zone, man. I just swore he was gonna sing. It's the sport of games, better than diamond rings. Basketball. Gloria, my Gloria.
I don't know who's dumber, him or her.
Yep. Exactly.
Daddy, you said the bad word.
Yep. She's planning on being
So
I forgot what
she was the choreographer for the Fly Girls on In Living Color. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Can I watch? Are you serious? I used to be able to do that a whole lot better back when I was 19, 20. Honey?
She's out of my life. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah, Woody Harrelson shorts, like kind of like jams, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's another movie we should do. We should do. Was it Major League? Is that the one you
Major
said?
League. Yeah.
Yeah. That's to be another.
That's a
I
great.
know we should do. I know Bull Durham. I mean, I think that's coming up on an anniversary, maybe next 2023. Maybe I think is the
Mhm.
anniversary date. We definitely need to do that one as well. Now, speaking of basketball here, this Woody Harrelson was also in Semi Pro with Will Ferrell,
Oh yeah,
and not as much basketball as this movie has,
right.
but he definitely put his basketball skills to get use. And that's a funny movie. That's I think is one of Will Ferrell's. Uh, I think it's one of his better movies. It just doesn't get the hype as Anchorman or
Yeah.
Talladega Nights or something like that. It was. Uh-oh. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Yes. You on? I don't know if we're synced up correctly.
Gloria, Gloria.
I know it's too bad they didn't play that song.
She's gone. I better learn how to
Kind of
face.
goes back to the beginning when Wesley Snipes first shows up at the apartment or their hotel. He gets he sits on their bed. He goes, "Are you comfortable?" Don't confuse me. That's what it looks like. See, Gloria should be happy. He's like he won enough money. He won enough money that he paid off the debts that he owed. It takes you 2 hours to watch 6 bits.
So, what I am surprised is that they didn't do a sequel because, as well received as this movie was,
I agree.
yeah, it definitely it was good seeing it again.
And it's about what 6 years between this and Wildcats,
Yeah,
something like that.
6 years, yeah, between
Yeah.
Wildcats and White Men.
And you can tell, man, they've grown. I mean, they grew a lot. I mean,
Oh yeah,
just they look closer to more like college students, and they look like they're in their 20s at this, like late 20s at this point.
yeah.
They look like they're about 26, 27, somewhere in that range. I don't know how they were, but that's what they look. Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I'm surprised that there wasn't a sequel. I mean, like we talked about before, there's so many movies that got sequels, and maybe maybe they were against it. I don't know, but it's just surprising that they've made sequels off a whole lot less, of worthy movies, and you would think that somebody would have some kind of story for a sequel on this.
Yeah.
Because it did kind of leave a little bit open that him and Gloria weren't together, but I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of looked at it that he's going to get a job, and once he got a job, she would take him back.
I had this momentary thought, like, what if they did a sequel now?
Oh,
Like, they're two old dudes.
then do the hustle.
I mean,
That would be kind. Now that's a good. Now that's a pretty good. It's kind of do the hustle.
Woody's 59.
Well, 3-on-3 tournaments are really. I mean, like they're doing 2-on-2, but 3-on-3 tournaments have been popular for a while.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of cool in the fact. But yeah, I mean that could be that's not a bad idea. That's a good.
This soundtrack was. I want to say it was pretty popular when it came out.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
But watching this though, it's like I would love to see them in another movie.
Yeah, they have good. They really do have good chemistry together.
They do. They're really good together. And it would be fun to see them in something now that they're in their late 50s. There's a lot of possibilities there. So.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be but I think your idea is pretty good about a sequel now to this. But even if you didn't, just like you said, just them working on something together would be really neat.
I really enjoyed this. It lived up to my memories of it. It could have been a movie that went in one of two directions. It could have been really heavy on the comedy or really heavy on the drama. And I felt that it struck that middle. It didn't go too far in one direction or the other. Excuse me. I would love to see him and Woody do something again, because I think it would be pretty cool.
Oh, me too. I think it'll be. So maybe we should. We need to put this out. We need to Instagram it, tweet it, whatever. We need to put it out there on our pages and let it be.
What a fun movie. We hope you enjoyed watching White Men Can't Jump with us. Join us next week when we take to the air with our movie commentary of Iron Eagle with Louis Gossett Jr. For more about 80s movies and music, check out Garrett's channel on YouTube, All Things 80s with Garrett, and follow him on Instagram at All Things 80s with Garrett. The Midnight Movie Snack podcast also posts its episodes on YouTube, and we're also on Instagram at the Midnight Movie Snack podcast. Follow us for updates, trivia, and more. Until next time, thanks for hanging out with us, watching the movie, and listening to our commentary. Adios.